Like an objectionable Facebook post and you could get jailed. That's Maharashtra's Home Minister R.R. Patil's diktat, and also the Maharashtra government's way of preventing hate crimes. But is this draconian decision really suitable in this age? Shouldn't the state bolster its law and order apparatus instead of cracking the whip on social media in this unseemly fashion?
First, the objectionable posts on Facebook. Then the reaction, an innocent youth murdered by extremists. The Maharashtra government is now mulling action against not only those who uploaded objectionable posts, but also against those who like and forward them.
लोगों ने कानून अपने हाथ में नहीं लेना चाहिए, उसकी कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है, क्योंकि सरकार इस मामले में संवेदनशील है। ऐसे कोई भी मैटर कोई पोस्ट करता है तो हमारा साइबर सेल मॉनिटर करता है। ऐसे लोगों पर हम कार्रवाई करेंगे। जो इसे लाइक करता है या फॉरवर्ड करता है उनको भी हम सख्ती से लेंगे।
Patil has also said that the government would see if there was a need for a separate legislation to prevent misuse of social media. On the other hand, Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan has asked the centre to find ways to check circulation of objectionable content on social media sites.
इसके बारे में जो यंत्रणा है वो केंद्र सरकार ने बनाई है SCRT के रूप में, उसको और मजबूत करना जरूरी है। और अगर चाहे तो अमेरिकी सरकार या और विदेशी सरकार से भी केंद्र सरकार संपर्क करे, उनका पूरा सहयोग लें, ताकि अगर विदेशों से कोई हरकत हो रही है तो उसकी पूरी आखिरी सतह तक उसको पहुंचना पड़ेगा।
Meanwhile, State Home Minister, who claimed that the culprits who uploaded derogatory posts that led to a wave of violence in Pune have been identified and will be arrested soon. 2 more people have been arrested in connection with the killing of a young IT professional, Mohsin Sheikh. With this, 19 activists of the right-wing Hindu Rashtra Sena have been arrested for the brutal killing of Sheikh. The state government's concern over the violence following the objectionable content on Facebook is understandable, but is the crackdown on social media the right solution? Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Has the NCP Congress government in Maharashtra even thought through what they are suggesting? Because you already have very draconian provisions under Section 66A of the IT Act, which people have been protesting vehemently. And now R.R. Patil suggests that if you like, forward or retweet any objectionable material or potentially inflammatory material, you will be arrested. Joining us on the center stage face-off, Rahul Navrekar, representing the NCP. Arvind Gupta heads the IT cell of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and I want to begin this debate by asking Rahul Navrekar about what exactly the NCP government in Maharashtra has in mind. Rahul Navrekar, because it is impossible to do what you are suggesting. The ambit is so wide. How do you decide what is inflammatory? How do you decide what is objectionable? What exactly do you and R.R. Patil intend to do? Rahul Navrekar.
Well, Rahul, insofar as the case pertaining to the Pune episode is concerned, let me tell you, the crime that we see in this incident is not only the posting of those objectionable posts, but it's also an attempt to disturb the law and order and public order in the society. So the crime is twofold. So number one, the person who has published or who has posted this article or this derogatory post on social media is of course guilty and needs to be caught hold of and booked. But at the same time, by spreading this or by sending it to many more people, you are also party or abating the crime of disturbing public peace and order. And therefore, what Mr. R.R. Patil has said is, the crime will include posting something derogatory as well as spreading something derogatory. So, in the interest of the people at large,
posting is not the only crime, even forwarding, retweeting, liking comments which are objectionable and inflammatory will now in Maharashtra at least get you arrested. Arvind Gupta, you have a problem with
Rahul,
what R.R. Patil is suggesting. What exactly is your problem? Because hate crimes, especially those flamed by objectionable material online is a reality. So if R.R. Patil says anything which is objectionable and inflammatory will be acted against, what is your problem, sir?
Rahul, we have said this many times in the past. If social media or any such digital means are being used to disturb public disorder or harm national security, I think action should be taken. We first of all should condemn this attack that happened in Pune. It was very unfortunate. We personally believe that it was something that was could have been caused for many of the reasons. But if the so-called post was a reason that the violence got sparked off, and that post, which comes from various proxy servers across the world, I think shows malified intent. They were trying to hide something when they were trying to post that. So one particular thing is that there was malified intent, and they were posting it with malified intent, and it was trying to disturb public order. In that, I think all of us have to be unanimous that if there is malified intent, things should not.
No, but how do you establish, Rahul Navrekar, what is malified intent?
No, let me complete.
No, one second. Rahul Navrekar, if there is malified intent and you want to act, that's one thing. Now, how do you establish that there is malified intent? I could like something or retweet something.
I'm coming to that. Rahul,
I'm just coming to you because this is something the Maharashtra government intends to do, and I want to see if they've thought this through. Because I could innocently retweet, like a post which I don't know may be objectionable. I might not understand the full context, and who knows what might be inflammatory in what context. How will you start arresting people? Because what you're saying is not just will you act against them, you'll immediately arrest them, which is also what section 66A of the IT Act allows you to do. Has the NCP government thought this through adequately, Rahul Navrekar?
Well, since you've put such a long question, give me enough time to reply as well, because unless you give me enough time to reply, you won't get the right answer. Now, what is objectionable and what is not objectionable is something which 66(1) deals with, 66A deals with, and that's a central piece of legislation. Yes, there is a debate as to whether this provision under the law is excessive or is it adequate. That is something that needs to be debated in the parliament, since it's a central piece of legislation. So let's deciding what is objectionable or not has already been decided by that piece of legislation. So I think that answers your question as to what will be objectionable, what will not be objectionable. Now,
no,
coming
but there is a
further
difference.
To your question,
I will tell you what that difference is. The difference is that this is not about posting it. You're also saying if you like it, retweet it, you still have a problem. Arvind Gupta wants to rebut what you're saying. Arvind, what's your point?
Rahul, let me complete.
This is where 66A fails.
And you want
this is where 66A fails, because there is no clear definition of what is inflammatory, what is defamatory, and there is a lot of discretion to the local law enforcement agencies. And we've seen that being misused in the past. So that's where we have always stood out that 66A needs to be relooked at. Now, coming to the second point that Mr. Patil has made, which I think my friend Rahul Navrekar is trying to defend, is that any like or any post, and Rahul, as you rightly said, who would decide what is inflammatory? We go back to those eras that Minister Sibal had proposed, that everything should be pre-censored. Now that is draconian. That is not possible.
Because look,
in the age of
Rahul,
internet.
at the definition of section 66A of the IT Act of 2008, it says that any message sent out electronically that is grossly offensive or has menacing character with the purpose of causing annoyance or inconvenience, or to deceive or to mislead the addressee or recipient about the origin of such messages, shall be punishable with a fine and a prison term which could extend up to 3 years. Now, this is already prone to misuse. There's a PIL against it, and now you are extending virtually what you intend to include under the ambit of what is already being called a draconian law, Rahul Navrekar.
No, first of all, if you are putting a question to me, you have to give me enough time to reply, because even on the last occasion you put the question and didn't allow me to reply. So please bear with me till I finish replying. Number one, your controversy with regards to what is objectionable and what is not, I've already answered that. 66(1) says, now suppose under CPC there is a crime. Suppose it says that breaking into someone's house is an offence of thug affair, and therefore you will be booked. And if the police takes action, the courts are there to decide whether the action taken by police is appropriate or not. Similarly, in this case, if the government feels, if the not the government, if the prosecuting authorities feel that what has been posted is objectionable, they will book him under 66A. Thereafter, the judiciary is there to decide whether the charges leveled against a person are appropriate or not. So I don't think there is a big problem with
but
that.
Rahul Navrekar, there are people who are watching this broadcast, who are watching what you are saying, and they are asking whether the Maharashtra government has its priorities all wrong. Rahul Navrekar, they are saying that the problem is law and order. Mohsin Sheikh was attacked even though he had nothing to do with the objectionable post. Somebody else put them up. There was a bunch of goons out in the loose from the Hindu Rashtra Sena that went out and lynched this poor boy. He had nothing to do with the objectionable post. Now suddenly you'll have a whole bunch of people who are active online being targeted by your government, whereas your real problem is basic law and order, which you aren't being able to address, and you want to impose these draconian provisions. Rahul Navrekar, how do you respond? Arvind Gupta, I'm coming back to you in a moment. Mr. Navrekar, go ahead.
Rahul, you need to understand one thing. Posting something which is derogatory is an offence. But then spreading what has been posted is abatement of an offence, and that offence being an attempt to disturb the public order, an attempt to violate the law and order situation in the area. And that itself is an offence, and by spreading the message, you are being party to that offence. And therefore, what Mr. R.R. Patil has suggested is, posting something is of course an offence. Any mode of spreading what has been posted which is derogatory or which is found to be derogatory should also be considered as an offence.
But you're not answering my question. Rahul Navrekar, you insist on your time to speak, and yet you spend your time not answering my question. My question is this, that the Mohsin Sheikh was attacked even though he had nothing to do with those posts on Facebook. He was attacked because you had a bloodthirsty bunch of people out on the loose attacking him. He had nothing to do with the so-called inflammatory content which was put on social media. Now, your basic problem is law and order, which your government and your police force is not able to deal with, and you're freaking out all those who are watching this broadcast and wondering when R.R. Patil might come after them. Mr. Navrekar, answer this question. Don't go off on a tangent, please.
Yes, Mr. No, there's no question of going off on a tangent. I think I understand the law as much as, or perhaps a little better than you, because I practice law as a professional. But taking your question about Mohsin Khan, let me tell you that why the late Mohsin Khan was attacked, why he was tortured for no fault of his, is something which the investigating agencies are coming to. They are investigating this matter. But yes, when messages like, it is very unfortunate that social media is being used in our country or in our society to disturb the communal harmony that prevails in the society. And if we want to prevent disturbance of communal harmony, it is necessary to control this social media space which is being misused. And that is what the government intends doing.
You're sounding like the police in China and Iran. It hasn't worked successfully in China and Iran, and now R.R. Patil wants to come after those who are liking, retweeting or forwarding what Navrekar and R.R. Patil might think of as objectionable content. Apar Gupta is a cyber expert and lawyer. The NCP seems quite determined to come down hard on those they believe are forwarding. Now, to post it is a problem in the law under section 66A. Now they're saying even if you innocently forward, retweet or like such content, you could be jailed for 3 years. How do you respond to that?
I think the first thing which we need to fix on is what is such content, and I think so Mr. Navrekar himself, when he was describing the content, just trailed off into banality and was repeating it shouldn't affect any communal harmony. So what is this content, Mr. Navrekar? We've not seen it. We don't know whether you've banned it. You have tools under the Indian law, the blocking website rules under which you can block this specific website. You have section 95 of the CRPC under which you can give grounds of opinion and state and legally ban this. Why have you not used the tools of law? Secondly, why are you lethargic every time you see something posted on Facebook, and rather than catching the perpetrators of a physical violence which occurs, you go after the person who's posted something. Now, what is the illegality in this? And let's just come back to the low tolerance which is being exhibited these days. You know, for Shivaji, for instance, would you allow Jawaharlal Nehru's glimpses of world history in which he called Shivaji treacherous? Would you allow B.R. Ambedkar to make his speech on annihilation of caste, which you would term communal? Or would you even ban Arun Shori's book of worshipping false gods? What we are doing today is you are catering to a constituency of offended who are actually having political allegiances, and actually this goes to feeding into your political system by itself. If you look at the Association for Democratic Reform statistics, 4 out of your 5 Lok Sabha MPs have criminal charges against them.
Okay, let Rahul Navrekar respond.
And this is not for sharing Facebook posts.
Can I just, Rahul?
Just one by one. Rahul Navrekar respond first.
Well, insofar, if you want to discuss the credentials of the public representatives who've contested on NCP tickets, I'm happy to do that. Just for your information, you would know that there are offences which are political in nature and there are offences which are heinous crimes. Now, these offences which you are talking about are political agitations which were undertaken, and therefore there were charges levelled against them, which you probably don't understand. And therefore, let's not get into that. When we debate on the issue of political credentials of candidates, I will answer those questions. Number 2, right now Apar spoke about the offence itself, which the posting issue. Now, insofar as the posting issue is concerned, that if it is derogatory, it is offensive.
No, but offensive to whom? Derogatory as defined by whom? That's the question. No, because here's a point I want to make, and I come back to the whole point of your priorities
tell me
being
something.
skewed. Just one second, Rahul Navrekar, I see you're monopolizing this debate. I want to go across to Arvind Gupta as well, because Arvind, so far, and we've just checked this out, the Hindu Rashtra Sena still has an active Facebook page, which is still circulating inflammatory material. If the cyber crime cell that Rahul Navrekar's party leads was to act, they should actually be taking down that Facebook post. They haven't done so, and Rahul Navrekar is now threatening all and sundry that his government and R.R. Patil will come and arrest them even if they like something accidentally. How do you respond to that? Are their priorities flawed, Arvind Gupta?
That is precisely my point. That is precisely our point, that, you know, there is very thin line between political censorship and what is inflammatory, and everybody can make their own decision, and which is what makes it a very risky proposition. That's point number 1. Point number 2, to add to what Apar Gupta said, you know, there is no excuse, and I find the scapegoating of social media always by state governments when they fail in law and order.
Absolutely.
There is no excuse for inept administration, and this is quite clear that here the administration, the local law and order has failed. And
now they're finding in social media a scapegoat, a ruse. Because if you were serious about clamping down on social media, Rahul Navrekar, why does the Hindu Rashtra Sena still have an active Facebook page? Why has that not been taken down? All of what Dhananjay Desai and his goons have been saying is available to one and all. Why is R.R. Patil not acting against them? Those who are posting inflammable, combustible material, Rahul Navrekar, I hope you have an answer.
Mr. Rahul Kawar, the problem is that you are contradicting yourself.
I am not.
I have already told you that the state is not going to go easy on the people who posted it. There's no question about it.
No, why is the no, one second. Have you written to Facebook asking that page to be taken down? No, one second. Have you written to Facebook, Rahul Navrekar, asking for that page to be taken down? You haven't. Why is that page still up? The page which is posting inflammable content.
Why are you talking when you don't know the facts? Why are you talking when you don't know the facts?
What are the facts? I want to know the facts. Why is that page still up?
The state government has already ensured. The state government has already ensured that any site that carries this defamatory material or carries this material which is strongly objectionable is blocked. The state has already done that.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying the Hindu Rashtra Sena chief Dhananjay Desai has been arrested. His Facebook page, the page of the HRS, is still active, Apar, and now we're seeing social media being made a scapegoat and a roost. Rahul Navrekar doesn't have a convincing answer to that.
I think so. Mr. Navrekar was saying that I'm probably ignorant of aspects of law, so let me just tell him. Firstly, I don't know what is illegal right now. I am again urging him to tell me what is illegal. Please pass a valid banning order under law. You have not done it till this point of time. I do not know what reference to Shivaji are objectionable, what references to B.R. Ambedkar are objectionable. Please tell me what is objectionable and what is illegal right now, because you have not used the process of law. And secondly, let me also tell you, the Supreme Court in a series of judgments, which includes the judgment most recently in Prakash Jha versus Union of India, has stated that if content, which means if my Facebook post is otherwise legal, but a group of people are going and disturbing law and order, it does not mean you will ban my Facebook post because it is legal by itself. Your primary duty is to maintain law and order. It is to prevent these kind of policing failures from happening. It is to prevent the death of a person. Please go ahead.
No, from what I understand of this question is very simple. What Mr. Apar Gupta wants to know is, under 66A, does this constitute to be an offence or a derogatory post for which the person needs to be booked? To my mind and to the mind of this government or the investigating authorities, they find this post to be objectionable. Once they have recorded this, once a case is recorded in this behalf,
like Shaheen Danda's case.
This will go before the judiciary, and the judiciary will decide whether or not
Rahul Navrekar, you are not answering the basic question. What is truly inflammable, what is truly combustible, what is truly objectionable is the HRS Facebook page. It's still up. You've had 1 week. God knows who you will arrest under the provisions of the expanded horizon of Section 66A, which is highly dangerous to begin with. But the Hindu Rashtra Sena page, which has all the material that they want to put out, is still up. That's inflammatory. R.R. Patil, and you haven't acted against it so far.
Rahul, let me tell you, I've just told you some time back as well, that the page which carried this has already been banned, I don't think
you're getting what I'm saying. You're a smart lawyer, so you're trying to deflect. There's a difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying. You're saying that particular derogatory comment has been taken down. I am saying check out the page of the Hindu Rashtra Sena. That is still up. All the inflammable comments, their worldview, which is highly combustible, is still active. Why don't you take that down? Why don't you call up R.R. Patil at the end of the show? You work with him very closely and tell him that maybe he's trying to find in social media a scapegoat. Maybe it is basic law and order and policing that you really need to control, because Mohsin Sheikh had nothing to do with what was posted online. That was a bunch of goons who went and hunted him down, and that is a law and order problem. Don't pin the blame on social media for this. I end this debate over here. You of course are free to form your own view. We don't tell you what to think. We put out the facts. You decide where you stand. For the time being, Rahul Navrekar, a lot of people alarmed by what the NCP government intends to do. Arvind Gupta for joining us, and also Apar for participating in the center stage face-off tonight. Thank you very much. News and updates continue on the other side. Look forward to seeing you at 9:30 p.m. tomorrow evening.